Breaking news.
That breaking news, we're following fire crews battling a building fire in the metro. Crews called to the area of 19th and Burdett just after 4 o'clock this morning. We're told that building on fire is vacant. Stay with First Alert 6 on air and online. We'll be sure to update you as soon as we know more. In the meantime, thank you for joining us. We get started on this Friday morning for our First Alert 6 streaming. I'm Erin Hartley, joined by meteorologist Jarrett Lansford and Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. A first alert to what's going to be a hot forecast.
Yeah.
We're getting into like the fall feels, but summer's not done.
The only thing that could help us today, I think, are the clouds that are out there right now. So the longer those stick around, the cooler today is going to be. So if you don't want the heat, root for the clouds that you see out your window right now and as you make your way off to work and school. Because you look to the east, it looks beautiful out there. You got a beautiful sunrise. These are some thunder showers that are popping up, and they're drifting off to the east through our Iowa counties. But we're at 76 right now, dew point is 70, so it is muggy. And it's going to be that way for a while. So once the sun breaks out, it's going to heat us up in a big way. And you can see thunder showers. The Pottawatomie and Cass County area have been dealing with the bulk of these this morning. Now we get a little more development up here west of Harlan. You can see just how random they are. But there's a new one that popped up really close to Council Bluffs. So I think we could see a little bit new development get closer to the river here this morning. And we'll watch these fire up over the course of the morning hours and see how many can hang on and drift to the southeast. But there's more clouds to the west, even this little cluster here moving through. So what those are doing is trying to send more clouds our way. Again, the more clouds we keep, the more it blocks out the sun and the cooler it's going to be today. The moment the sun breaks out, it's going to heat up. So for this morning, chances of thunder showers as kids head to school, but most of these are on the Iowa side. Those kids aren't back to school yet. So it's 70s and most of us staying dry. There's that cluster of thunder showers here at 8 o'clock. There's the one off to the west trying to drift in by 9. And once we get this cluster in Iowa out of here, the best odds for rain shift north of I-80 the rest of the day. So these won't be quite as widespread, but I just can't take the chance out entirely. So by 3, we're up near 90. Then you get some thunder showers in the northern counties still by 5, still by 6 and 7. Notice the heat that builds in from the south with the clearing, and that's why we can get into the low 90s for a little while today. Then as we make our way through the course of the overnight hours with some clouds around into the early part of Saturday, again, nothing too much to worry about. We start off in the mid-70s in the morning, but then it heats up again in the afternoon. So your Friday heat index forecast gets you up 100 to 105. Saturday, probably the worst of this stretch of heat, right up near 105 for a few hours into the afternoon. Again, we've been this hot several times, so we didn't make these First Alert 6 weather days. You know how it goes. This is the next round of heat on the way, and we're going to deal with it for about 3 days here. It looks like 96 then on Sunday with some storms later on in the evening that may try to help take some of this heat out of the air. But again, we're talking worst of the heat index value, probably 105. We'll watch for that to be a little more prevalent by Saturday and Sunday.
That's pretty intense compared to what we've been seeing recently as far as those temperatures that we were experiencing in the 80s.
Yeah, August has been pretty cool so far, so this may be a little shock to the system.
Okay. In the meantime, as we kind of look into next week, Monday and Tuesday, is this heat going to persist?
It looks like we'll still have some 90s around Monday and Tuesday, but to a lesser degree, which is good news. So you can see the heat impact map here. There's the scale across the top. You get in the oranges and the reds. That's when you start to take notice here. And we have that over the next few days. Monday and Tuesday, notice we start to see the impacts lessen. Still some 90s out there, but there's going to be some thunderstorm influence. So that will likely drive our peak heat index values down a little bit by Monday and Tuesday. You'll notice the change there. And then you can see some thunderstorm chances that start up Sunday evening through the overnight and then on and off on Monday and maybe even into Tuesday. Basically, this means there's more clouds, more thunder showers to get in the way of our warming. And that could likely hold us closer to 90 rather than the mid-90s. And then you get some 80s on the way towards the end of the week and next weekend as well with 80s. So again, 80s and 90s, a lot of summer warmth still yet to go for August. Got a few thunder showers out there. And like I said, if you want to keep today's heat at bay, you root for the clouds that are happening out there right now and see how many of those can hang around.
C-L-O-U-D. Let's go.
A cheer squad out there. I'll have you guys out in
Perfect.
your uniforms. All right, that'll be good. In the meantime, let's switch over to traffic this morning. Of course, construction an ongoing issue around the metro, but what should drivers know this morning?
Yeah, it's where we're seeing a lot of our slowdowns as we're starting up our Friday too. And so let's check in on some of these. I-80 is one that's really been a problem for a while, but as we've picked up the amount of traffic and had on the roads a little earlier the last few days, we've really seen things light up as we get toward about Eld and Giles at this time frame. So here's what it's looking like. You can see that we do have some pretty slow traffic in this area. I will say it doesn't look quite as bad as it has at times the last few days. It's still, you know, right in the immediate vicinity of L. You're looking at a stretch where you're going 10, 20 miles per hour. So be ready for that as you're heading through that stretch. I expect eastbound starts to slow down soon. So far it's holding up in pretty good shape. Let's go to another part of the metro where Dodge has really had some issues here as you're making your way westbound right around 40th this morning. Look at how slow that is. You do have those lane restrictions that have been there for a little bit. This is still scheduled through the end of next week. So we've got another week where we have to contend with this. Watch for things to be slow from about 42nd back toward 38th or so. And then we'll keep an eye on 480. This has been ongoing the last couple of days since we closed down that exit ramp from northbound 480 to Harney earlier this week. The Leavenworth exit becomes pretty congested and you start to get a ripple effect as far as the delays are concerned in that area. So that's something that will likely take place even more so than what you're seeing right now. The complicating factor alongside that for today and into the weekend is you're also adding more traffic into this area. Creighton has their move-in happening starting this morning and over the next few days. So there's going to be a lot of people driving that stretch. So be ready for it to be slow as you head through there. Picking up our school traffic, so you're seeing some of that on Dodge, on Maple, on sections of 204th. So far, we haven't seen the big light-ups of delay that we've seen at times over the last few mornings. That's something I will be watching for, though, as we go through the next hour or so. We'll check in on some of those specific areas that I saw were the worst as we went through yesterday, and hopefully we'll find some better maps for those areas this morning.
I know, a little bit of relief. All right, Jared, thank you. A person is in the hospital this morning after a shooting in North Omaha. This happened near 19th and Spencer. Details scarce at the moment, but Douglas County officials do confirm crews were called out to the shooting just before 9 o'clock last night. Stay with First Alert 6 as we continue to learn more. Happening today is some of the people arrested on disturbing charges in the metro are set to be back in court. The FBI field office in Omaha says these 5 were arrested in connection to various crimes, including sex, drug, and labor trafficking. 4 of the 5 appeared in court this week. 2 of those 4 will be back for detention hearings today. The others will be in court next week. Officials with the Rocky Mountain National Park announcing rangers recovered a body. It is believed to belong to a missing Omaha man. The park says the family of 23-year-old Blake Keycafer reported him missing earlier this week. He was last seen last Thursday when he was dropped off by a rideshare service. The county coroner's office is working to confirm the identity of the person who was found. Over here now at the safety desk with Maria Cade, a record low number of Americans are drinking alcohol regularly. Maria Cade, what more can you tell us about this trend?
There's a new poll that just came out from Gallup, and they're finding 54% of Americans say that they drink alcohol at all, and for those people who do drink, is a record low. 24% said that they had a drink over the last 24 hours before they took the poll. 40% of people said that it had been more than a week since they last had any alcohol. Meanwhile, for the first time, a majority of Americans in the poll said that even having 1 or 2 drinks per day is bad for your health, and they recognize that.
Okay. Maria, thank you. Now, some health experts are releasing new guidelines for blood pressure that have a lot to do with just exactly that.
Yeah, these guidelines are coming from the American Heart Association, and they're recommending drinking less alcohol than before, ideally none at all, really. So the guidelines used to say people who drink alcohol should have 1 or fewer drinks a day for women, 2 or fewer for men. But these new guidelines find that it's less than 1 for women now and less than 2 for men. Experts are also putting more emphasis on lowering blood pressure to reduce the risk of developing dementia. It's also really important for people who want to become pregnant to monitor that blood pressure. So some things to keep in mind there. These are the first updated blood pressure guidelines that have come out from the AHA since 2017.
Okay, so it's been some time. All right, Maria, thank you. We're back after this. All right, time now 7:14. Taking a live look outside. Ooh is right. Overlooking the Midtown and the downtown areas. That sun now starting to come up. The clouds kind of making it really interesting looking outside. All right, back here at the Weather Center. It's going to be a so-so forecast for really doing much of anything outside, maybe besides getting in the pool.
The morning hours are going to be the coolest if you need to do something outdoor, but the afternoon might be best for the pool this weekend. It's all about the heat this upcoming weekend. If you need to get the yard mowed, a little so-so today, tomorrow, and Sunday because of the heat. Maybe do so late morning to avoid the worst of it. Then Monday actually has some rain chances with it as well. So it's possible. You just got to be strategic with it when you're trying to get it done. Now, there's been some clusters of thunder showers out there this morning. That's the beautiful view that we have as you look off towards the east. There's even been a few new thunder showers developing close to the Council Bluffs area here. So you're on the east edge of Council Bluffs towards Trainer. And it's been a lot of these in Pottawatomie County, to be honest with you. They're drifting to the east. So Macedonia, Trainer, along Highway 92 for the most part is where these reside right now. Bigger picture shows we're going to see what cloud cover can drift in from the west as well. Models vary on how much of this actually hangs on and comes our direction, but that would get in the way of rapid warming, and I think everybody would be okay with that because it's going to get humid today, well up into the steamy range with that muggy meter. Heat index forecast because of that goes into the low end of the triple digits today. And that pairs up with highs that should bounce around in the 70s for a little while this morning, all depending upon the showers and the clouds, and then start our climb into the afternoon. Yesterday we surged pretty quickly once we got rid of the clouds, and we'll probably do the same thing today, getting us up into the low 90s. Can't rule out a rain chance this afternoon either. Keep that in mind. It's something that will likely be north of I-80 if they're going to be there, though, this afternoon. And then all the focus for tomorrow turns to the heat index forecast that goes near 105. Saturday's likely the worst day of it, and the heat impact map shows you that. And you can see Saturday widespread red across the area. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday have something a little less of a degree each day. So Sunday, still some heat impacts. Monday and Tuesday, you can see how that kind of gradually goes away. And well, there's your peak heat index forecast here over the next 3 days, easily the worst of it as we go through the weekend. So the 10-day forecast shows a little bit of a south breeze today and tomorrow too, gusting near 25 miles per hour, trying to help bring in some of that warmth. And then late Sunday afternoon into the evening, and then some on and off chances on Monday and Tuesday as well. Bring some rain into the area. So we'll see how that goes, and that'll try to cool us off just a little bit.
Just a little bit, just have a little bit of cooling off with all the heat. Are we going to be also experiencing the heat looking at the 10-day forecast? Yeah,
the good news is the second half of the 10-day does trend a lot cooler, and you can see a lot of 80s on the way into next weekend. But if you go just beyond that, I want to show you something that we'll be watching just beyond that. This is this weekend with the warm colors around. Notice the cool green starting to get back in here by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. And then just to the north, this upcoming next weekend, that is a little plunge of some cooler air from Canada that may help set numbers back a little bit and give us a maybe cool, comfortable end to next weekend and get you some fall feeling. We'll see how the early part of that week goes. But that's, again, we're talking 10 to 14 days out here. We'll see what that can do. But at least signs that at least we're going to push the heat away after this weekend and hopefully keep it away for a little while.
You mentioned the word fall and it gets me.
I know.
I get all excited.
Everybody's ready for it.
We have a great fall here too, so it's definitely something to always enjoy. Not everybody gets it.
It's the best. The humidity comes out of the air. You start to get a little crisp on the mornings.
The leaves turn. It's great. All right. We'll hold our horses for now. In the meantime, I was going to update on traffic this morning. Kids going back to school. College students at Creighton University also going to be moving in today, so drivers who are frequenting that area should probably be alert.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of traffic that you're seeing in the area right around campus. You can see so far not too bad as you're looking at 480. You're getting toward the North Freeway, that area around Cumming. Doing so far so good, but we will pick things up over the next couple of hours. The move-in starts at 9 a.m., I believe, and we'll have that carrying on through the rest of the weekend, really. So things on 24th coming, 480 could gets quite a bit slower. So keep that in mind. Also watching just school-age kids here that have gone back to the classroom. We've seen some of our areas really check up with the amount of traffic over the last few days. That includes Bennington. 156 a little slow at this point. Starting to get signs on 168th also checking up. And there you can see Ida getting pretty slow as we get more and more of that traffic on the road. So don't be caught off guard by that. Some spots in Elkhorn have been a little slow. 180th right near Blondo has gotten a little bit delayed, but nothing major showing up at this point. Millard, we were looking at all sorts of problems over the last couple of mornings, and we're starting to already see 156 slow down, some spots on Harrison. This is going to be an area I watch very closely here over the next couple of hours. So this is what you should be watching for. People are still getting into the flow of things with the commute, so keep that in mind as you're heading out and about.
Okay, good to know. Jared, thank you. Big changes, meantime, coming to OPPD. The company is adding smart meters and an interactive map to help monitor power outages. The outages will be color-coded based on how many customers in the area have lost power. When a smart meter detects an outage, it'll take about 15 minutes for that map to update. Officials say the meters make it so you no longer have to report an outage on your end.
It's nice that we're able to take that best practice and bring it to OPPD's customers. And really, you as a customer won't even notice any change to the way you do anything.
The company tells us they plan to start installing the meters and the map early on next month. Happening today, Nebraska Representative Mike Flood will be speaking at the Sustainable Aviation Fuels Conference. The event will be held at the SAC Museum Hangar B in Ashland. It starts at 10 a.m. and goes until 3. Also today, it is the start of move-in weekend at Creighton University, as Jared and I were talking about. The school is welcoming its largest first-year class in its history with 1,250 students. A couple of quick facts about the group. 36% are traveling more than 400 miles to attend college. The top states represented, besides Nebraska, are Minnesota, Colorado, and Illinois. Shedding light on an ancient Roman city from thousands of years ago, what new research is helping to uncover when we come back. New this morning, researchers have made a new discovery surrounding an ancient Roman city.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. According to new research, a number of people moved back to the city of Pompeii to live in the ruins after that catastrophic volcano eruption in AD 79.
So the revelation was made during an ongoing excavation at the Pompeii Archaeological Park in southern Italy. However, the park's director says it's impossible to reconstruct a complete picture of exactly exactly how many people have returned. So far, 2/3 of Pompeii has been unearthed. I guess if you're a big history buff.
Yeah, I bet they're finding some fascinating stuff there that we haven't even heard about too.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, all the time.
yeah, I didn't realize that was like a continual thing they were doing.
And they're 2/3 the way through, so who knows what else they're going to
There's
find
a
as
lot
they
more.
continue.
It's really incredible to see. And also so much we know, too, about something that happened so many years ago.
Yeah.
The history there is pretty amazing. All right, time now for First Floor 16 to prepare for our update in the Today Show. We'll give you a bird's eye view as we work. You can watch that cut in right here on the stream or over the air. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great start to your Friday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Time now 7:26 on this Friday morning. It's good to have you with us. I'm Erin Hartley. Let's get an update on the roads this morning as you make your way out to work or to school with Jared Lansford.
And as our Friday morning commute's up and running, I'm noticing it's mostly the construction zones where we're seeing a lot of our biggest problems. This is I-80. We are moving this morning as you head westbound, better than the last couple of days, but it is still pretty slow in that stretch right around L. You can see we're down near 10 miles per hour, so not great motion there. Be ready for delays. And then, of course, school traffic. Still getting into the flow of things at this point in the school year. Millard area, you've got a number of roads that are running slowly. And as we pan a little further to the north, Bennington, you've also got some pretty serious delays right around 156th and Ida. State Street also slowing down. Rusty.
Thanks, Jared. Out there, too, we've had some thunder showers, mostly on the Iowa side, so not impacting anybody heading back to school right now. The Iowa schools are still a little over a week away, and you'll notice here there's a little bit of lightning in some of these south of Oakland. It's mostly been Pottawatomie and into Cass County with the brunt of these. Now we've seen a little development around Harlan, but notice not much developing on the Nebraska side. They may occasionally fire up near the river and drift east. So far, mostly an Iowa issue with some thunder showers, and even this lone cell out here picked up a little steam. That's a severe thunderstorm warning just outside of our viewing area, but that may send some clouds our way. It's another aspect we'll have to watch. Because even after this batch in Iowa moves out, there's still small chances of storms. Most of those would probably be north of I-80, though, later on today, if any new can develop. We're in the 70s right now, and we're going to climb. As these clouds move out, it should go into the low 90s later on this afternoon. Aaron?
We're following breaking news into our newsroom. Fire crews battling a building fire in the metro. Crews were called to the area of 19th and Burdett just after 4 o'clock this morning. We're told the building that was on fire is vacant. The time now 7:28. Back here in about 25 minutes with another update.